There are three possible methods by which the communists might take us over. One would be by a peaceful coup d'etat, as in Czechoslovakia in 1948. The second method would be by fomenting civil war in this country and aiding the communist side with military might. But there is a third method, which they are clearly relying on most heavily. And this is taking us over by a process so gradual and insidious that communist rule is slipped over so far on the American people before they ever realize it is happening. The process in that direction is going on right now, gradually but surely, and with ever-increasing spread and speed. A part of that plan, of course, is to induce the gradual surrender of American sovereignty, piece by piece and step by step, to various international organizations, of which the United Nations is the outstanding but far from the only example. But another part is the conversion of the United States into a socialist nation, quite similar to Russia itself in its economy and political outlook, before police state enforcement is ever introduced. The best way to explain the aim here is simply to quote the directive under which some of the very largest American foundations have been secretly but visibly working for years. This directive is so to change the economic and political structure of the United States that it can be comfortably merged with Soviet Russia. Now, here are the communist aims for the United States. 1, greatly expanded government spending for every conceivable means of getting rid of ever larger sums of American money as wastefully as possible. 2, higher and then much higher taxes. 3, an increasingly unbalanced budget despite the higher taxes. 4, wild inflation of our currency. 5, government controls of prices, wages, and materials, supposedly to combat inflation. 6, greatly increased socialistic controls over every operation of our economy and every activity of our daily lives. This is to be accompanied naturally and automatically by a correspondingly huge increase in the size of our bureaucracy and in both the cost and reach of our domestic government. 7, far more centralization of power in Washington and the practical elimination of our state lines. There is a many-faceted drive at work to have our state lines eventually mean no more within the nation than our county lines do now within the states. 8, the steady advance of federal aid to and control over our educational system, leading to complete federalization of our public education. 9, a constant hammering into the American consciousness of the horror of modern warfare, the beauties and the absolute necessity of peace. Peace always on communist terms, of course. And 10, the consequent willingness of the American people to allow the steps of appeasement by our government which amount to a piecemeal surrender of the rest of the free world and of the United States itself. In summary, gentlemen, we are losing, rapidly losing, a Cold War in which our freedom, our country, and our very existence are at stake. And while we don't seem to know we are losing this war, you can be sure the communists do. There is just one thing, only one thing in the whole world which the communists fear today. It is that despite their tremendous influence in our government and over all of our means of mass communication, the American people will wake up too soon to what has really been happening and what is now happening right under their very noses. The only thing which can possibly stop the communists is for the American people to learn the truth in time.
So wow, you're probably thinking, oh, is that some guy talking yesterday? No, that was a long time ago. And as he was going through his 10 things, you're going to want to watch that again. After this show, you're going to want to rewind and go, that is exactly what is happening right now. every single word, number 1 through number 10. That guy, in case you don't know him, let me bring this up. His name is Robert Welch, actually Robert Welch Jr. He was a businessman, American businessman, who later formed something called the John Birch Society. And the John Birch Society was a think group, a think tank that talked about how we can preserve American life and preserve the American ideology. And there's people like him, I'm sure there's many of them who outlined specifically, one after the other, what the communist plan actually is. And the reason why it was so easy is because everything that Karl Marx said, everything that Lenin did, we could actually put a playbook together, just like they did. We understand this is what they want to do. This is what they've always wanted to do. There's no secret here. The thing is, Americans used to be awake. Americans used to be able to look at things and go, I see what this idiocy is, and I'm not for that, and I'm going to make sure that we don't ever do that. Except we acquiesced the entire educational department to communist. And they've continued to raise and raise and raise kids who are lockstep zombies doing what they asked them to do. If you hear this new thing that's, and I say new, we had a president, when they talk about, what do you do for a living? What? I'm a community organizer. What do you put together camping trips for kids? A community organizer became president of the United States. That was my wake-up call. I'm like, there's something wrong here. You've got no work history. You've never done anything in life except be an activist and cause problems. That's it. That was the complete resume. And now as you look and see what these people that Mandami, he didn't hire, but the people that Mandami backed, it's exactly the same thing. They have no work history. They haven't done anything. They haven't accomplished anything. And now these people are going to be in our government. These people are going to be the ones trying to enact laws and policy based on the fact of nothing. And the people in New York didn't react fast enough. The people in New York didn't understand, didn't care, didn't think it was possible. And now they've got all kinds of crazy stuff happening up there. And Mandami's not going to stop. He's going to continue to put a stake in the heart of the biggest city in the country. And people are letting it happen. And the reason why I'm talking about it, so much the last couple of days is you need to understand what to look for. Understand these people are serious. They are organized. They are funded. They mean it. They're taking it to their heart in terms of what they want to do for people like you and me. We can no longer sit by and just watch it happen. And so some people have emailed me and texted me and said, so what do we do? Well, I think the first thing to do is to get educated. Understand what your opponent is doing. I'll go back to a sports analogy. When I was going to play somebody, just like anybody else is going to play somebody, you study film. You want to know every tendency. You want to know when he puts pressure on his fingers. You want to know when his head turns, what it means. You want to know what he had for breakfast. You want to know if he's having trouble with his girlfriend. You want to know everything about that opponent. So as soon as you are in a position to do something, you can react accordingly or be proactive and take advantage of the situation. Right now, if you don't know what these people are thinking, if you don't know what their game plan is, if you say to yourself, and I truly mean this, if you say to yourself, I don't want to hear that, you're done. They are going to run roughshod over you. You have to educate yourself. You have to educate people around you. This is something that most people haven't had to deal with their entire life. There have been crazy talks. Most of us lived through the 60s. I was a kid, so I didn't get to see most of that stuff. And, Kent State, where the shooting was, and all the stuff that happened with the Vietnam War. Well, these people took it to heart, and they had a plan that they executed for decades. And they couldn't get any traction because people were living lives. They weren't stuck on X and scrolling. And I don't think even during the 60s, I don't think people thought they were doomed. You see, the Flower Kids and the real summer of love back then, it was really a summer of love. They were humping everything they can get, popping as many drugs, doing whatever they need to do, but they weren't looking to feel desperate and hopeless. And I think the communists learned, what did we do wrong in the 70s? People would get high, they'd, mess around with the other sex, and they'd listen to music, and they'd dance freaky, and then they'd go on with life. Don't know what they did, don't know where they worked, don't know how they did different things. Many of them became professors, many of them worked in business, but they didn't feel hopeless. And I don't think many of them, as they progressed, gave up on America. I didn't see many people, even when they had the commies and the peaceniks and everything else, we didn't see an entire mass of people, you can go back and look, that said to hell with it. In fact, just the opposite. Think of it in the music perspective. What happened? Well, you got Crosby, Stills, and Nash, and all the different songs that they did, and they went on tour, and they made a crap load of money selling records. Kind of hard to be anti-capitalist, anti-American when you're getting millions. Even people like Joan Baez, who was a staple of that flower child movement. She still stayed kind of crazy, but she was never hopeless. She sold a ton of records, made millions. And you can just go on and on. Santana, who I just went down to see, played Woodstock. Peace, bro, peace. Sold millions and millions and millions of records. Well, I can't do this anywhere else. This is pretty good. I'm getting a good life here. I used to think and I used to feel a certain way, but now I'm worth $100 million. And, I can say, fight the people. Springsteen broke my heart, Bruce. Grew up going to Asbury Park, watching Springsteen. Rosalita, Jungle Land. The songs that I grew up on. He made billions. He didn't think life was hopeless. Went down to the Jersey Shore. Obviously kept a lot of his craziness to himself, but wrote a song, born on a 4th of July and all that kind of stuff. Bono, all of them. They may have had some warped ideas, but they didn't give up on America. That America allowed them to thrive. Yeah, well, I can sing about it, and I can hate it, and I can make millions, but wow, what a country. Now you've got a legion of kids who are truly socialists, who are truly on the borderline of communism, who have never done anything. They've never written a single song, never written a single album, never got a gold medal and stood up and held a black fist. There's no sense of accomplishment with any of these people. That difference is the catalyst for what they're doing now. You can't do anything. It's all somebody else's fault. It's the boomers' fault. You can't buy a house. You're stuck. Life is hopeless. There's nothing you can do. Which is completely different than the peaceniks, which is completely different than the real summer of love people. Well, I don't know what these people are talking about. I sold 10 million albums. You remember, some of you guys may be basketball fans, but one of the biggest deadhead type people out there was a guy named Bill Walton. Bill Walton was one of the best centers in basketball. he had a lot of problems with his legs and feet, so he couldn't really get to where he wanted to go to, but he was amazing. Went to UCLA, then he played a bunch of teams in the NBA, made millions. And when he made his millions, then he got a job as one of the broadcasters and had a fantastic career. Stayed a nut, but made millions. There's no hopeless. There was no reason to be hopeless. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, who used to be Lou Alcindor, changed his name, converted to Islam, but he was throwing those hook shots for 20, 25 years, made millions. Cassius Clay. Cassius. I'm going to convert. My name is now Muhammad Ali. Oh, okay. It must be really awful. Not that awful. How much you going to pay me to knock this guy out? Oh, I'm doing okay. Take a comparison. If I'm going to go back, and some of you guys may not know, there was an amazing Cuban boxer who I always thought could beat Muhammad Ali. His name was Teofilo Stevenson. But unfortunately, he lived in Cuba. And many people didn't get to see him fight, and he didn't get to make millions and millions. I often wondered, looking back, what he must have thought about Muhammad Ali, the activist, the guy who's not going to go in the draft. He's standing up for the people and then cashing those big-ass checks. See, that's the difference. If you look at these people right now who are carrying the banner of socialism and communism, they truly feel hopeless. They've never done anything. They've never accomplished anything. And then when they bring in their rich buddies who just somehow think that mom and dad made millions and I'm a trust fund baby, but I've never really done anything myself. This sounds good. Fight the people. Let's make it communism. Let's completely destroy America, even though my parents got rich in America, even though I'm a trust fund baby in America. I live in Park Avenue, but I understand what these people in Bed-Stuy feel like. No, you don't. You're playing Halloween. It's cosplay. You have no freaking idea what these people in Bed-Stuy. You have no idea what the people in the Bronx feel. You think you do. You think they all want free stuff. They don't know. And what's really unfortunate is I really believe a lot of people on the right don't know what they're looking at. And hopefully I've spurred some memories for you, and you think to yourself, yeah, these people were all what we would have called, when we grew up, we would have called them radicals. Even, what was her name? Angela Davis, the big giant afro. Well, Angela, she blew up stuff, and then she wrote books. I'm like, well, I'm making money. These kids aren't doing anything. We're community organizers. What does that mean? What the hell? Are you getting paid for it? No. Okay, so I'm going to run for Congress. They're going to pay me $175,000 a year to try and be a radical. And the day I get sworn in, I am now different than the people I was organizing. Wait till they have to deal with that. Oh, you got money now. What are you doing? You're going to live with us? Oh, no, I'm going to get a nice townhouse someplace, where I can do a walk up and got 3 or 4 bedrooms. No, you're supposed to be with us. I don't think these people understand Bernie. I'm going to show you something about Bernie in a little while. Bernie, you're a man of the people. You're here for the cause. Except you got 3 houses and you got books. And you're now a millionaire to the point where you can no longer say millionaires and billionaires. These kids are completely hopeless. And I think one of the ways to beat this is to stop that in its tracks and begin to try and talk to some of these younger people and let them know they're not helpless. But I've got to tell you, I've tried. It's very hard. I got into a tete-a-tete today with somebody on X, and I think I'm at this point 500-0. Every time I wade into a conversation with these people and ask them to substantiate the stuff that they just spewed, they run. They either get mad, call names, like, hey, what do you mean? So today, I had posted something, and I'll show you what it is I posted, because it was very interesting when I brought it up, and it was indicative to me why some of these people are having so many problems. They don't understand that life on X isn't life in real life. Sorry for using the word life so many times there, but it needs to be said. So let me show you very quickly what I mean. This guy here, Dante, have no idea. He goes, I'm in New York for the weekend. Figured I'd try to catch England versus Panama World Cup match tomorrow. Just looked at the tickets. Never mind, it's $1,500 for the last row in the stadium. It's bonkers. What did you think you were going to do? Hey, we're in New York right now. We don't have anything to do tonight. Let's go see a World Cup match in New York City. What did you think you were going to pay? And he goes, honest question, no shade whatsoever. He meant this. How are these fans flying over here, staying for weeks, and affording these tickets to these games? And I just wrote this, and this is why people need to get off of X and stop listening to commie Democrats and the media, and understand, no, the world is not broke. The world is not destitute. Been telling everybody, and I'll say it again here, football season's happening in about a month if things start ramping up, and you're going to see stadium after stadium after stadium completely filled. Hundreds of thousands of seats in some of these stadiums. Filled. What you see with your eyes you can't look away. You can't look away from what you'll see tonight if you turn on one of these World Cup games. How in the hell are all these people affording these tickets? And the guy who posted this, when he posted it, he probably didn't realize he was letting all of us know you've been gaslit. You can't even understand that there are people out there who can afford $1,500 tickets, $5,000 tickets, $20,000 tickets. It doesn't even comprehend, because you have been told a lie. You have lived a lie. When the media constantly hammers it home, when the Democrats keep hammering it home, the working people can't afford to buy gas. The working people can't afford to buy groceries. Hey, man, where are all these people getting this money? That's where we have to come in. We have to let these kids know you're not stuck. You are not stuck. There is opportunity. You just have to find it and understand you're being lied to. Yes, there are a whole legion of people who want to buy these tickets. And $1,500 for the last row in the stadium should have been a wake-up call. Should have said to you, wait a minute, these people in the nosebleeds are paying $1,500? Like President said about the New York Knicks game, when people on a plane asked him, how are people supposed to afford these tickets? Work hard, make money. That's life. These kids don't like life. They don't want to go through what you went through. They don't want to go through what I went through. It's easier to point a finger and blame us for not opening the door behind us, whatever the hell that means, and then to say we should do communism and socialism. Everybody should get a ticket. Everybody should have the right to sit courtside at the Knicks game. But as Trump said, that's not life. Not being able to sit there is real life. You didn't make the movies that Ben Stiller made. You didn't make the movies that Spike Lee made. You didn't sing the songs that Taylor Swift sang. You didn't catch the touchdowns that Travis Kelce caught. You didn't make the movies or do stand-up comedy like Billy Crystal or Jerry Seinfeld. You didn't do that. So you don't get the keys to that club. They're not given to you. Somebody needs to have a discussion with kids and tell them that. You have to. I can't even imagine how many times Jerry Seinfeld had to go and do stand up in some little podunk club for year after year after year until one day he hit it. I can't even imagine. Well, I can, in terms of a football player working out, doing everything he possibly can do to one day sign a big contract. These kids don't want to sign the contract. They want it given to them. Call it a failure of their parents, call it a failure of their environment and their culture, but nonetheless, they are celebrating failure, and worse than that, they're wallowing in it. They're accepting that their lot in life is done. They're cooked at 19, 20, 21, 22. Can you imagine? Take yourself back to when you were 21 or 22. Did you feel your life was over? That there was nothing better you could do? That's where they are. Don't know how they got there, but we need to show them that there's a way out. So that was my opening. Then we're gonna do a bunch of stuff. Let me bring in SB. I think that was him popping me with some news. Good afternoon.
Hey, good evening, actually.
Evening. How was your pickleball this weekend?
It was fun. You're reading the thing I sent you about Trump. Yeah, Trump patience has hit the end of the road with Iran.
We about to get big boom booms. Is that what you're telling me about
yeah. To summarize, he says if they keep violating the ceasefire, he's gonna basically make them no longer exist.
United States aircraft just struck Iranian missile and drone storage locations. This, by the way, is at 7:13 p.m. For violating the ceasefire agreement. Again, it is very possible that they will never learn. There may come a point when we are no longer able to be reasonable and will be forced to militarily complete the job that we are very successful at. If that happens, the Islamic Republic of Iran will no longer exist. As far as I'm concerned, we don't need to post anymore. We're behind you. Just go ahead, just drop them. I mean, it sounds. I know what he's probably trying to do. He's probably trying to let everybody know I've done everything I possibly can. I have talked. We have sent people over there. We have signed agreements, and you are looking at a group of people in this world who just won't listen. And we all knew it. There's no surprise here because they're not based upon government. They're based upon an ideology of, we're the blue-eyed devil, and we're the big devil, and Israel is little Satan. So how you fix
the way you deal with barbarians is you eliminate them. That's my answer. Well, I mean, they are. I mean, they killed how many people? 40,000 of their own people, and some of the things they do, they remove people's heads, they hang them. I mean, it's barbarious. It's barbaric. It's
and you know what the I won't say funny, but you know what the thing is with me too, is if people realize what would they do given the chance, given the opportunity and means, what would they do to us? We wouldn't have to worry about Mandami. They'd blow up New York. They'd blow up, Los Angeles. They don't care.
Yeah.
And so, I mean, if this is where the ultimate end of that comes, I just wonder how many people, again, just like I've been saying, are people ready for it? Are you ready for what may come? But
right.
I am.
Well, let me show you a little hope. 3 up from the bottom from the State Department. This is
you sent me something? Hold on.
I sent you a couple things. I mean, clandestine is the longer story, but State Department, check out this good news. After what happened in Venezuela, look who they pulled out of the rubble.
Oh, wow.
It's like a 20-second video.
A little baby. Oh my gosh. Yeah. A little baby got pulled out. That is so nice. You know what's weird about this, and I don't know if you've noticed it. Why is the liberal media is not even talking about it? It's like it didn't even happen.
It doesn't have Trump in it.
My gosh. I mean, down here was a really
Yeah.
good feel-good story. We got tractor trailers after tractor trailers taking stuff to the airport. People are driving up and dropping off all kinds of stuff here. And I saw it on our
Yeah.
local news. Didn't even make the national news. I mean, it's, Ron DeSantis I mean, they're loading up C-17s and sending them over there.
Yeah.
Don't even hear about it. The
Meanwhile,
Haitians.
in New York City, Gunther posted it. This is what's happening in New York City. So this is what the Democratic Party is showing off today. It's a 20-second video, I think it is.
More of these nuts, huh?
I mean, check out some of the signs though too. I mean, guys in dresses. I mean, masks. I mean, oh
my
my
gosh.
goodness. I mean, this is insanity. New York is forked. New York is totally forked.
You know what's worse about that? Let me tell you what's worse about that. The Mandami crowd, those people there are first on the list to go away. They have the express pass. They would be.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh! Let me show some more of that.
Look. I mean, this is not dress up time. This is not fake. This is real people. And a lot of them you see too are older folks. Like, what in the hell has happened to these people? It's like the people down in your area. Remember, you would go driving around. It was like the people in their 70s and 80s, like F Trump. Like, really? This is all you have to do with your time?
Oh my gosh.
Queer and like, oh my gosh. It's good though that some of these white liberal women are now shaving their head to try to avoid conservative men. Have you seen that one?
Yeah, and another one. I saw another one who's showing the hair in her armpit so that guys won't be attracted. Oh, like you got a couple warning barriers already. All right, just to let you know, you don't even have to go that far. We are, we can see. We can definitely see.
I wrote about the screeching, the black glasses, it used to be blue and purple hair, but. Yeah, nobody wants to be around these white liberal women. They're
like this one here.
Crazy.
This one here.
Right. I see it.
You've got you're blaring. I don't need to see much because I mean I can see everything I need to see. Oh my gosh, these people are crazy.
The sad thing is I used to visit New York City a lot, for the theater and stuff. I'll never go back.
No, I was telling Robin that this yesterday morning. We're sitting on the deck, and I was like, she used to live in New York. I lived in Connecticut, so I was there all the time. I'm like, I don't have any desire to go back. She loves Broadway plays, and nope, we'll have to go to aftermarket Broadway down here or something. Not going to do it. Not going to subject myself to the craziness.
Yeah. Well, even the play, some of that stuff is all woke crap now. I mean, you don't know what you're going to get. I mean, it's terrible entertainment, just pushing their agendas. So anyway, New York, nope, no more. I'm done.
All right. So
all right. Well,
go ahead.
I was going to say there is a post from Clandestine, which is pretty interesting about Q, but you can't talk about that. You can't hit that rail. Okay.
I can talk. See, you're pulling me into this.
It's so relevant, though. It's so relevant.
Let me show you something. I got to show you something because people will get a kick out of this.
I'm here to push.
I don't have an alter ego. But I want to show you something. You too, SB. I posted this. No, that's not me. Where am I? Yeah. Okay. Where's me? There I am. I posted this at 2:53 p.m. All right. And all I said was President Trump posted this without any comment. Wonder where he got the picture. Real ones know. And that's all I said. And like I said, I posted it at 2:53. You can see the timestamp right there. Then
look at my post.
And then I got this. I don't know if this is the one you're talking about, where he's like, at what point does it stop being a conspiracy theory? And he shows the picture I posted, plus he shows the actual drop. And it was literally 50 minutes later. So I don't know if he's watching my stuff, but that's why I had put, I knew when I saw that picture. I mean, Robin knew. She's like, are people going to get it? And like most people probably won't. And that's
Yeah.
why I posted the way I did and said that, real ones would have to know, because it's so, at this point, it's obvious to me. So I think you're talking about his other post, this one, the long one, that one.
Yes, that's the one about Q.
So, all right,
Yeah.
you can read it, and I'm gonna let you go with this.
Oh, okay. I'll give you a break to get some water. All right. So this was posted about an hour ago. Clandestine says, to be perfectly clear, there is a massive difference between what is in the actual Q drops themselves and what the media, critics, and morons claim is in the drops. The overwhelming majority of people who talk about Q don't actually have any idea what they are talking about. A large number of people who claim to be anons or Q analysts are complete imbeciles who muddy the water and make intelligent, objective analysts look insane by association. Excuse me, making wild stretches and insane jumps in logic that are not required whatsoever. This includes many of the accounts with large followings. Having a lot of followers is not an indicator of accuracy or intelligence. The enemy also likes to amplify the craziest and dumbest crap said by retarded Q followers, hoping to spook people away, and they were successful. If you ask a random Joe on the street what Q is about, they say JFK Jr., flat Earth, and lizard people, right? When in reality, it's about Uranium One, the Muslim Brotherhood, deep state infiltration, criminality, Russiagate, MSM propaganda, Saudi corruption purge, Ukraine, Iran, the Insurrection Act, COVID, etc. So when people ask me who they should go in order to learn about Q, my answer is nobody. You need to read the drops and decode them by yourself. However, if there's enough demand, I will create a video breakdown going through a rundown for beginners so noobs can read them for themselves, because it does take a good bit of problem solving and decoding to understand. And there's the red pill with Peppy. I love that. Down below.
Not only the red pill with Peppy, but red pill
Sheep.
in front of the sheep. And
Yes.
that's
Big calm.
that's specifically why I just posted it this way. That I didn't put anything with it, because I have been trying to talk to people and advocate, telling people you got to read it. You have to dig in yourself. If you listen to people who are trying to posture and say this is what this means, no, I mean, it's like, let me go back to his post for a second. Just wanted to show people this. I'm not even sure. Yeah, you can see it a little bit. See this number up here at the top?
Yeah, 4205, right?
I don't know what date this was, but that is the 4,200 post.
Wow.
There is that many. And so for someone to say, oh, it's crazy or that or anything, and if you haven't read 42, I mean, it's probably a lot more than that at this point. If you haven't read some of that stuff, you're at the whim of somebody else telling you. And unfortunately, we've got a lot of apathy right now, where people don't want to do the work. And so, yeah, it looks like a crazy tinfoil hat until all the stuff, even like the initial video I showed, this stuff has been being told to us in bits and pieces for decades. And people just walked around like this. I mean, that old guy.
Well,
good.
I was going to say, my little take from it was what he talked about, the people who are doing it for clicks and money. You know, they think they come out with an answer like, the guy that talks like this.
Yeah.
Him, right? Yeah.
Oh,
I mean,
God.
come on, man. Yeah. So, there's so many different ways you could take it, but you're so right. You're so right on that.
You got to do the work. There's no substitute for doing the work. Speaking of which,
do your homework.
I got a whole bunch for you tonight. I don't even know how long we'll be here, but I got a bunch of stories. All right, so thank you.
Commercial break.
Yes. Thank you. All right, everybody. He said it, and that's exactly what we have right now. And then I'll run the intro. If you're a baby boomer like me, you've worked hard your whole life. At least I hope you have. You raised your family, you served your country, but lately, does your body feel a little bit sluggish, tired, tired all the time, bloated, just not feeling right, you're not alone. Many people our age feel like that. I've had to train myself because of doing these shows that sometimes last 3 hours at my age. I'm competing with a lot younger people out there, and they're not even doing near 3-4 hour shows. I kind of put, a little pat on the back here. I see some people do hour and I'm like, hour and a half. Hour and a half. I'm just getting ready at an hour and a half. So if you're feeling that kind of sluggish, SB at his age is out there still hitting the ball around playing pickleball. You got to take care of yourself. So I called a good friend of mine, Dr. Josh, a no-nonsense doctor with over 25 years in practice, and he didn't sugarcoat it. He told me I was showing the classic signs of a clogged liver. Now, most of us never think about it, but your liver, even with your heart down there, is the hardest working organ in your body. It filters toxins, it helps digestion, it controls energy, and keeps everything running right. Processed foods, which we've eliminated completely from our diet, having a few drinks here or there, everyday stress, they all take a toll. And a clogged liver affects nearly every system that God gave you. That's why Dr. Josh created Ultra Liver, a powerful doctor-formulated deep cleanse. It's a supplement that actually works. Over 500,000 bottles have been sold and thousands of 5-star reviews from real Americans just like us who are finally getting their energy back at our ages. After just a few weeks on Ultra Liver, your chronic fatigue will be gone. The bloating disappear. Your mind will be sharper, and you will feel like your old self again, or your younger self again. This isn't some random pill from a big corporation. This is real, natural stuff that you can take, and it's from a real doctor who cares about results. And right now, Dr. Josh is running a special summer sale with up to 50% off, but only for the Fanfare family, and the link is in the description, or you can go right there to tryultraliver.com/Barry. If you're ready to unclog your liver, flush out the toxins, and get your strength back, go to tryultraliver.com/Barry right now. Do it for yourself, do it for your family. Take back control of your health today while this sale lasts. All right, be back in 90 seconds.
One man is being victimized by our own government. One man whom they fear, yet whom millions love. One man who is willing to take the poison arrows of lawfare. One man whose voice has been taken away by a corrupt judge operating in a corrupt system. One man who has been ridiculed and insulted. One man who refused to back down. One man who refused to back down. One man who refused to back down. One man who stands between us and them. One man that wants to see America protected again. One man who wants to see America prosper again. One man who understands that a man is a man and a woman is a woman. One man who understands and protects the blessing of life. One man who wants to restore American exceptionalism. One man who once again wants to make America that shining city on a hill for all to see. A place where all the people of the world glowingly set their eyes upon. America. One man who unashamedly wants to make America great again. That one man is Donald Trump.
This is Fanfare with Barry Cunningham.
I mean, I think the choices of the future are going to be communism, or if you want to call it socialism in the Democrat Party, or nationalism in the Republican Party. I mean, that is where we're headed. Those are the two populist directions. But let's look at what these DSA candidates stand for. So let's look at what their platform is. They actually say...
All right, so that's David Sachs, who's working directly with President Trump. He is involved in the White House AI and the tech side of things, but he's also a billionaire, and he's also a host or one of the regulars on the All In podcast, which is a bunch of high-level finance guys. And he's going to break down what the DSA platform is. But if you haven't seen the DSA platform, I want to be able to show it to you first, because this is their stated platform. You guys ready for this? Okay, here we go. On the far left, top box, it might look a little small if you're looking on a smaller screen. I've got it blown up over here. All of this came directly from their document. If you look at the top right, it says their ultimate goal, a Democrat Socialist Republic, to win the battle for democracy, draft a new constitution, and create a Democratic Socialist Republic, whatever the hell that means. This is the DSA's official platform. They wrote it. They approved it. Now you're going to learn it. All right, first block. Abolish the Senate. Implement proportional representation and ranked choice voting in all elections, and abolish the Senate. They don't even want senators. I don't have to tell you that's crazy. Number 2, replace the president and the Supreme Court. We don't need to have a president. Replace the president and Supreme Court with an executive and judiciary chosen by and subordinate to Congress. So what that means is they want Congress, which they plan on taking over, to actually run the country. Instead of having a president, we will now have no Senate, and the president now gets picked by the Congress. Number 3, defund the Department of War. Defund the Department of War and all foreign wars, and close overseas military bases. That might be the most insane thing they want. They don't want us to have an army. No military. Next, second row to the left. Abolish the carceral state. Redirect police and prison funding to public services as steps forward towards abolishing the carceral forces of the capital state. They want no more incarceration. Nobody goes to jail. Nobody goes to jail, and we have no military. It's just one giant escape from New York wall, because that's all it's going to be. No military, no judge, and no prisons. This is actually their stated platform. Let's continue to the second row middle. And of course, you got to have some free Palestine in there. You couldn't possibly have Democrat, Socialist, and Communist without free Palestine. For a free Palestine with Jerusalem as its capital. I'm sorry. Free Palestine with Jerusalem as its capital. Jerusalem's the capital of some other country right now. Oh, you don't want that other country to be in existence. Gotcha. Prosecute U.S. and Israeli leaders responsible for the genocide in Gaza. End sanctions on Cuba, Venezuela, and Iran. And economic warfare against countries whose governments act independently of the United States, such as Cuba, Venezuela, and Iran. Well, good luck with Venezuela. But Cuba, yep, we're supposed to just let it go. Nope, let it go. Not supposed to have any sort of influence in Cuba 90 miles off of our shores. The bottom row, abolish ICE and grant amnesty for everybody. End ICE detention. Yeah, you can see that. End ICE detention and deportations, and punish federal agents' brutality. Legalize migration from all over the world. Anybody can come here. grant amnesty for all immigrants, regardless of status, provide a path to citizenship for all permanent residents, and end visa caps and quotas. Can you imagine this? Okay, so just you understand what they're saying. We're going to do away with the military. No more military. We're going to do away with the presidency. Okay, we're going to do away with the Senate. We're going to do away with jails, and we're going to do away with borders. What the hell are you creating? How can anybody live here? Never mind people from other, how can anybody, why would you want to come here? So basically, the predators are the only people who would survive. Whoever could do the most raping, whoever could do the most murdering, whoever could do the most stealing, those people are going to be the higher edge of society, because nobody else will be able to defend themselves. They ain't nobody you can call and nobody to arrest them, because we don't put anybody in jail. This is what they're advocating for. It makes absolutely no sense whatsoever. And this is what they want. Here's another one. Public ownership of major corporations. Establish public ownership of the largest corporations and essential industries to ensure democratic control and accountability to the people. So you want to own IBM. You want to own NVIDIA. You want to take over all these companies. And do what with them? Expect people to continue working? Just take ownership? This isn't socialism. This is completely communism. Take over the complete means of production in the entire country. Not making this up. All right. And the last block here is remake elections nationwide. Abolish the Electoral College. Replace the two-party system. Democrats are coming for you as well. With a multi-party democracy, expand the House of Representatives, implement proportional representation, and ranked choice voting in all elections. Good luck. See, now you've seen this. Now Barry didn't make up anything. This is their actual platform. As you go through this, and you may want to rewind and read it again, because it sounds like the ultimate communist anarchist cookbook right here. How can you possibly have, I don't even know you'd call it a country. How could you have a country with no borders, no jails, no military? How can people possibly survive? I mean, that is basically a jungle. There would be no old people. They'd kill them all. Take whatever they have. Because you can't call anybody to, come and do anything, because we took care of that in, let's see here, box number here, redirect police and prison funding to public services. So not only are you going to do away with everybody, you're also going to not have anybody to enforce any laws. This is complete anarchy, anarchy at its best. We would be toast. There would be no United States. This would be complete out-and-out war. You might get away with that in New York. You might get away with it in Atlanta. But at some point, how do you expect to get the weaponry out of the hands of people who have them? How do you expect military people to lay down? See, that's the important part about this. I don't care who you vote in. There's no way you can enforce this. What if, Florida said, no, we are not going to do it? Who are you going to send down here? You think you're going to go into some military base, take it over, and fly an F-15 down here? No, it ain't going to happen. They live in a fantasy world, a complete fantasy world.
They want to abolish the Senate. They want to abolish the carceral state. That means basically police forces and prisons. They want to abolish ICE and grant amnesty for all. They do not support any deportations whatsoever. They want to replace the president and Supreme Court with an executive and judiciary that is chosen by and subordinate to Congress, which basically now I guess this means this House. And with respect to House elections, they want to abolish the Electoral College. They want to replace the two-party system with a multi-party democracy. And they want to expand the House of Representatives, implement proportionate representation, and ranked choice voting in all elections. So this would be a total makeover of our constitutional system. They want a free Palestine. They want public ownership of major corporations. They want...
You want everything. You think people are just going to acquiesce and let you have it, let you just come into their states, come into their towns, roll over, and just give you all this power. See, they can't do this if people don't lay down. They think there's going to be a huge amount of people who are going to subscribe to this, which is impossible. See, one of the things we know and we can feel very confident about is many of the liberals who they think are on their side wouldn't be on their side anymore. Barbara Streisand wouldn't like giving up her mansion in Malibu. Taylor Swift doesn't want to give up her jets. Like, what happens there when the very same people, the Bruce Springsteens, the Rage Against or Rage with the Machine people at this point, all these people who are supporting Democrat socialists, what happens when the Democrat socialists come after you? Oh, they're not going to come after me. I'm going to be one of the elite. It doesn't work that way. They need everybody's money. Remember, they're bringing everybody from all over the world here. There is not going to be enough to go around. And then you won't have anybody guarding your house. They'll just come take your stuff. This is a recipe for complete anarchy. It is a recipe for the end of the world. Can you imagine any of these nuts having access to the nuclear arsenal? That wasn't mentioned. Who is going to be in charge of the nuclear arsenal that one of you idiots can decide to point wherever you want? They haven't thought this stuff through. Mandami? We're gonna let Mandami be in charge? Who exactly do you think's going to do all this stuff once you disrupt and tear down the military? Who's going to be flying the B-2?
Defund the Department of War. This is a very radical organization. And you would laugh at a lot of these types of proposals, but you can't really laugh at it anymore because these guys are taking over the Democratic Party. And you can see the Democratic establishment is in complete panic right now because they have lost control of the party to Zoram Mamdani and his allies. So, Jason, like you said, I mean, let's take this one race here. New York 13, you've got this ally of Hakeem Jeffries, longtime incumbent congressman, Espaillat, I guess is his name. He is the chair of the Congressional Hispanic Caucus, and he was defeated by an unemployed 32-year-old PhD candidate. She's never had a job.
Never had a job. What do? I'm an organizer. What the hell are you organizing? You're 32. All you've been is in college your entire life. You've never earned a single dollar, and you destroyed the rate that the candidate was running against you. How? Who is voting? Obviously, we know it was a limited amount of people that voted, but nonetheless, this woman is going to be sitting there next to the bald-headed chick and AOC and Rashida Tlaib and Ilhan Omar, and between them, they don't have the IQ to run a data center. And we're putting all these people in Congress. At some point, we're going to just have to rip the Band-Aid off. I don't know if that's what President Trump is waiting for. But at some point, we're going to have to do something absolutely nutty.
He's been in college for 10 years, I guess, writing this PhD thesis. And I think even by DSA standards, she might be kind of a lunatic. So she has declared that she wants to end Western civilization. She wants to eradicate Western civilization.
Wait a second, what? We're soaking in it.
Yeah.
Okay, so these were her actual tweets. This is what this woman was saying. Let me move it back. So I should have put it above. Okay, there you can see it. I'm fighting. This is her. This is the woman that just got elected in New York. She posted this. I am fighting for the total eradication of Western civilization. What the hell were people in New York thinking? How do you vote for somebody who is telling you there's nothing hiding here? She is telling these people, my job is going to be to destroy this country. Eradicate doesn't mean fix. Eradicate doesn't mean let me tinker here or there. Eradicate means eliminate. Get rid of Western civilization. What? Have we lost our freaking minds? We got a Nazi running up in Maine. We got these people getting elected. What is it the rapture or something? Are we already there? How in the hell are people even looking at the... Oh, that's right. They're not paying attention, which is why Barry's doing these shows.
We're soaking in it.
Yeah, she actually said she used the American flag as a napkin to clean her hands.
Oh.
She attended a rally one day after October 7th celebrating the slaughter of Israeli civilians. I mean, she's very pro-Palestine, but even to the point of celebrating Israeli civilian deaths. She calls white women ugly colonizers. She's called for the complete...
No, he left something out. He left something out there. I was looking away. Let me see if he showed the actual tweet, because okay, yeah, this pissed me off. This pissed off my wife. It's going to piss off a lot of people. So I want you to see that. Black men and Arab men are fetishizing ugly colonizer women. So what she is saying is she doesn't want to see interracial relationships, because Robin is a fetishizing ugly colonizer woman, which none of that other than a woman part is correct, which we don't know how they define women, so I don't know. But for you to say fetishizing ugly colonizer woman, you ain't seen my wife, number one. Number two, who the hell are you to tell? Aren't you the people talk about you can love anybody you want to love? Oh, except the fact that they might be white women. You got a whole lot of NBA and NFL players you're going to have to deal with. Mm-hmm.
She's called for the complete defunding of the police and abolishing all prisons and borders. Doesn't want a single deportation. Hates the police, openly calls them pigs, or has on social media before. Calls U.S. service members war criminals and says the U.S. is a disgrace of a country. She's written favorably about communism and seizing the means of production, and on and on and on. So this is basically the new Democratic Party. It's going to be, even if the Democrats do take the House in November and Hakeem Jeffries becomes Speaker, this is going to prove to be a huge headache for him, managing all these new DSA members, because they do not actually see the traditional establishment wing of the Democratic Party as an ally. They see it as an obstacle. This is the DSA co-chair, Josh Block.
All right, so you need to see this. This was, as you can see on the screen, a timestamp. This was it's not an old tweet. This is a new tweet at 7:36 2 days ago. All right, we're using. I don't understand how Hakeem Jeffries and Chuck Schumer, after seeing this, didn't just say enough. We need to squash these people like bugs. We're using the Democrat Party as a ballot access vehicle, not because we share its goals. We build our own organization, get elected under the Democrat label, caucus with Democrats when it's useful, just to use them, and then push our own agenda from the inside. We see the Democrat establishment as an obstacle, not a home. Forget Republicans. They're openly telling the Democrats, we're just going to use you like a $2 hooker in Saigon. We have no use for you. Your entire party is nothing more than a stepping stone for us. And literally, we're going to step all over your heads and use you and your apparatus. Right now, Hillary Clinton... Like, no, you're not getting the Clinton machine, which is probably why James Carville is screaming. I haven't heard much from Obama yet, but there's got to be some puppet masters like, you need to do something about this. But at the same time, I have seen many Democrats coming out, it's a big tent. Well, it's not your tent anymore. These people are letting you know in no uncertain terms, we take over the tent. You get to hang out, but we're just using you. Can you imagine going into a relationship where the other person says to you, I'm just going to use you for everything I can get. Take me out to dinner, do whatever you need to do. Let me move into your house. I'm going to take it over because you're just a means to an end. And you have the balls to put that in a public forum. Again, like I've been saying, they're not hiding where they're going. Here's our platform. We're going to destroy America. We're going to eradicate the Western civilization, and we're going to use you people to get there. You can never accuse them of lying. So how does any Democrat look at this and go, oh, that's going to be fine. We're going to have a big tent. No, they don't want you in the big tent. They are going to come into the big tent. You're inviting them into the big tent, and then they're going to kick your ass out of the big tent.
We're using the Democratic Party as a ballot access vehicle.
Oh, my God.
Not because we share its goals. We build our own organization, get elected under the Democratic label, caucus with Democrats when it's useful, and push our own agenda from the inside. We see the Democratic establishment as an obstacle, not a home. So the DSA is coming from the Democratic Party. It controls the base now. It's where all the energy is. I think this takeover will continue. I think the DSA will gradually take over more and more of the Democratic Party. And all I can say to these establishment Democrats is play stupid games, win stupid prizes. You supported this open border policy that brought in this wave of mass migration. That is a huge part of the base of this new DSA wing. Mamdani would not have won the mayoral election in New York if it had just been native-born New Yorkers voting. It was the mass migrant vote in New York that swung it to.
Wait a minute. I thought they weren't supposed to vote. How did the mass migrant vote in the New York election? Are you telling me in a couple of years they all became citizens? No. This is their recipe. This is it. You're looking at it. If it was just New Yorkers, it wasn't going to be close. Mamdani would have lost by 30 points. Here, let me bring that back so you guys can see that. If it was just American New Yorkers.
Voting.
No, I'm 9 points. Cuomo would have had 40. Mamdani would have had 31. If it was just American-born people. And if Sliwa had done something and got the hell out the race, those people would have voted for Cuomo most likely. They weren't going to vote for Mamdani. So their recipe, and now they've got their playbook, and they know how to run it from state to state to state, from town to town to town. That's how they're going to do it. And the Democrats at this point are dropping their pants and bending over. Oh, we just want everybody here. No, it ain't going to work that way.
It was the mass migrant vote in New York that swung it to Mamdani. It's not exclusively the DSA base. It's the migrants plus these overeducated white progressives who, I say overeducated because they're more downwardly mobile. They end up going to work in academia or NGOs, that kind of thing. Yeah. They're hard left wing. They're kind of the vanguard. And it's this combination of these, recent college graduates who are kind of the organizers and this migrant movement who are really taking over the Democratic Party. But again, this all goes back to Democratic Party policies. They may not have intended for this to happen. They may not have intended for them to lose control. But
all right, so that's a question I'll ask you. We saw how they opened the border. We saw how they brought all these people in. Did they not think this was going to happen? So was the whole Mamdani socialist communist thing a offshoot, or was this a plan from the Democrats all along? I don't think that they expected this. I think they thought they were going to control all these illegals that came in. I think they had it and were like, you're going to vote for who we tell you to vote. We're going to give you, EBT cards. We're going to give you free health care. We're going to give you bus passes. We're going to give you the Obama phone, and you're going to do what we tell you. And little did they know, especially in New York City, that these guys were going to go vote for the communists. So I don't know, chicken and egg, which came first, what was supposed to happen. And at this point, does it match with what actually did happen?
It was their open border policy. It was also the fact that they have cracked the melting pot, and the policy we had for many years in America of assimilating migrants, right, immigrants.
Yep.
That all got cracked by multiculturalism and wokeism. We don't really do that anymore. So now you've got these candidates like Chevalier openly declaring they're not just anti-American, they're post-American. They don't have any respect for the American system, our constitutional order, our free enterprise system. They want to introduce something in much different, and it's going to look a lot like the countries where these migrants are coming from.
You know, I want you to go back and you can rewind it and get to this section, because most people you talk to, your coworkers, your friends, your family members, are not going to believe that this is actually the platform, because they don't know where to look. They don't know where to get it. And so they're like, no, they just want to what? You've heard their actual words tonight. You can read their platform. I venture to say most of the people you're going to be talking to, and you say, hey, do you know what they want to do, what their platform is with the military, their platform is with police actions? Do you know any of this? I guarantee you the people in New York didn't. The people who voted for them obviously did, because more than likely, they all had their little organizing and they knew what they want to do. I'm sure Mandami knew. But the rest of the people who are just walking through life, living life, they're not going to know in New York what hit them, even though they published it. And I got to say, the brazenness of the largesse of the bulls, for you to publish that we are going to do all this, and this is where we want to go, and we want to eradicate the entirety of the Western civilization, and you had people going, yeah, that sounds good. Yeah, give me some of that. Mm-hmm.
Dan, I'm trying to wrap my head around what the movement actually represents. So I've spent some time on the website of the Democratic Socialists of America. I'm just going to run through a couple of pages that caught my eye. The first of them is this. It speaks of Medicare for all, ending the war on drugs, fighting mass incarceration.
See, I didn't even get to all that. They want Medicare for all. They don't want they don't want any sort of policing of drugs. You want to get high? Get high. None of it. No, they don't have the idea to do anything negative in regards to crime, which to me is insane. Absolutely bonkers.
And police brutality, college for all, housing for all, and support for working families. And then when I go deeper, I see this: public ownership of large corporations, free everything, debt cancellation, Medicare for all with zero cost sharing, tuition-free college plus free room and board, full student debt cancellation, universal child care, and universal rent control, voting.
Somebody asked a great question in the chat. Ms. Loopy, she's like, where was all this info before the election? On their website. None of this was like just all of a sudden sleuth and we had private investigators looking. No, they said it. She actually made those tweets. Yeah, I don't want white women and black men, and I don't want this, and I want to eradicate Western. No, she put it all out there. The people in New York didn't look. One of the reasons I'm spending time on it right now is because I want you to know, because it's coming to your town. It's coming to where you live. And that way you won't get caught flat-footed and you won't get caught in a situation where you don't know what's coming. So there's going to be somebody running for an election somewhere in your town or your state who's going to openly say, I'm with the DSA. I am with the Democrat Socialist of America. And now you know what they're all about. Now you can go to a town hall meeting and go, wait a second. Are you down with this? Is this what you really want to do here? Because that's what it should have happened in New York. Somebody should have walked in with a clipboard and go, I got a question for you. You want to get away? All policing has to go away. You want no borders. You want to give drugs and college for everybody. You don't want the military. And then you could stand up in that meeting and go, is this what you guys all want? Because now that it's coming out to the masses, she's out there on television. Well, actually, a couple of them are on television going, well, that's how I used to feel. That's how I used to think that before.
Rights for non-citizens. Universal suffrage, it says, would extend full voting rights to non-citizens and open borders, immigration, freedom of movement, let workers migrate freely without restrictive immigration controls, etc. Try to convince me that you can sell this outside of very blue New York congressional districts, meaning in middle America.
Yeah, so all over this country today, people are feeling like they have to work way harder to get by. People can't pay rent. They can't afford groceries. They see the billionaires getting richer while their own lives are getting worse.
Okay, so you're telling me these broke-ass people around the country, your prescription to them is we're going to let in as many people as possible to drive things higher. Because that's what you just said. We're going to open borders. It can be freely. People from anywhere can come here. There'll be no more private property. So you think that the remedy for what the people are feeling right now, the gas prices are too high, the groceries, is to make it worse. Is that what you're saying? That's exactly what they're saying. Actually, what they're saying is, we don't care if you don't like it, especially if you're white. See, that's the other part of this, because the people right now who are complaining and saying, like he just said, they go right back to affordability, immediate. So if there's more people looking to acquire or steal more goods, what happens to the price of those goods? This is all the way back to like sophomore economics. More people going after the same amount of goods, or probably less, because you're going to steal the means of production, and you've never done anything but be an organizer. So now you got to learn how to run a combine and go out there and get all the crops, which means you're going to screw up. Oh, but that's right. You're going to kill all the cattle because you don't want people eating meat. So you're just going to harvest ferns and bring them to market and say, eat some bushes. And you think people are going to be okay with that? Because you have everything he just said, he has not addressed with what they're doing. What he's saying is these people are desperate, they're pissed off, and we can sell them a dream. That's what he's saying.
They're seeing Elon Musk become the world's first trillionaire, and he was responsible for overseeing a so-called reducing government inefficiencies while actually stripping public services for millions of Americans. So while the Trump administration, with the support of Democrats, has been increasing a military budget to $1 trillion and giving trillions of dollars in tax cuts to the already wealthiest.
And so the guy answering the question, he's thinking the same thing you are. What the hell does that do for the guy who thinks that, things are too high? So you think you're going to take the military budget and just spread that around. And then once you've spread that around and there's no military, and other people say, hey, there's no military in the United States, hey, let's go over and take it over. It doesn't make any sense. Even look at these guys' faces. The two of them are like, you guys really aren't making any sense. Explain to me how it makes people's lives better. Because when I grew up, I used to aspire to be like some of the people he's talking about negatively. I don't care if Elon Musk is a trillionaire or a billionaire. I worked for a billionaire. Did I want to go blow up his airplane? I wanted to kick his butt a few times because he was a pain in the ass. But other than that, I'm like, I want to be as close to what he's doing as possible. I want to learn as much as possible. I want to understand what he does with his money. By the way, he buys as many mobile home parks as he can. That's his investment strategy everywhere around the country. My old boy buys mobile home parks. I'm like, okay, I got you. But anyway, I digress. Billionaires, multi-millionaires, they should be inspiring you. You shouldn't be mad at them. There's a road right here in Boca where you can drive down. They call it the Millionaire Mile. And it's some of the biggest, most luxurious homes you'd ever see. People, I mentioned it before, their yachts cost more than most people make in a lifetime. And I drive down there often. And I'll go up the coast and I'll just look at some of these homes. Not because I'm mad, but because it inspires me. Keep going. Hey, if Robin wants to get a condo on the ocean, maybe we look at this building that's under construction right now. What do we need to do to get there? What happened in our society where you look at somebody who has and you get mad and think, I want to take it? It was never that way. It was always aspirational.
Huge disparity in what people are feeling in their day-to-day lives. People are feeling like neither political party is serving them in power. So when we talk about these expansive public services like universal health care, free college, affordable childcare, and having higher taxes on the wealthy and shifting resources away from this extreme militarism.
I'm loving it because this guy's on CNN and he's looking at this guy going, you're butt poop crazy. You're absolutely crazy. Where do you think that those weapons come from? I don't know. Go talk to the people at Lockheed Martin. And as they're producing the bombs and the missiles and the tanks and everything else and the drones, there's people working, manufacturing all this stuff. And the government pays them because we need the weaponry. And the people who get to make the bombs and missiles, they have jobs. So if you're going to take the budget away from the military and there's no budget, what are all these people going to do?
It's overwhelmingly popular people all over the country. So this is not isolated to New York City. And by the way, New York City is America's city. It's the largest city in the world. And
no, it's not. Oh, you're letting people know you're a complete moron. Oh, boy.
The wealthiest city in the world. And Donald Trump comes out of New York City. Rudy Giuliani was mayor when I was growing up in New York City.
Well, I hear you, but I'm mindful. But I'm
there.
It makes absolutely no sense. None whatsoever. Now, I wanted to show this to you because the last time we talked about this stuff, you know, when SV showed the people in the street looking completely nuts, bald-headed women, women not shaving their armpits, those are their useless idiots. They're not coming at you that way. I showed you a woman in Colorado who is now running for office, and she is the antithesis of what you're seeing in the street. They understand social media, they understand television, and they're bringing people out there. Even Mondami, they clipped his hair and made him look, they took off the turban off his head and made him look very presentable, let him talk, let him have that big smile. They understand what to do and how to use media. And so this woman you're about to see, this is the socialist running for office in Colorado. And I told you, they're bringing out a pretty looking young woman who looks completely demure, and there's no way you can think she's the devil incarnate unless you listen to what she says.
The suggestion that Israel had it coming?
No, not at all. It's about understanding the conditions in which violence and war happens, right? Israel is a country that has been accused of apartheid and occupation for decades now.
By who? It just flows off her lips. She's quiet and she's demure. And, you know, Israel's one of those countries that's been accused of apartheid. By who? Who has accused Israel of apartheid?
And has been able to resist any kind of change despite all of the frustration on the world stage that people have had for the conditions that Palestinians have been living in. And I hope that as an ally that Israel claims to be, that they would be responsive to our demands to make sure that they change those conditions so that...
Whose demands? Guy, I mean, I don't understand how these reporters do this stuff, because I'd have stopped it right there. Responsive to whose demands? The Democrat Socialists of America? Your demands? You're running for a small office in Colorado. The other ones are small districts in New York. They get this much of the vote of the people who live there. and you're putting demands on an entire country?
Can actually finally start to the work of peace building and delivering aid to the people in need.
Do you believe that the 9/11 terrorist attacks on America were the inevitable consequence of American foreign policy?
You had to think about that. He asked you, were the 9/11 attacks basically our fault? You didn't have an immediate no. You didn't have an immediate no because not a single American flew those planes into buildings. Couldn't be our fault because we didn't do it. Let me think about that. That's a tough one. I'll get back to you.
Inevitable in the sense that we destabilized a lot of the Middle East, that forced people to believe that another act of violence was the only response.
Some people got mad and some people flew some planes into a building because they got mad. And they figured that was their only response. She just said that. She's running for office in Colorado, and they don't hide. She said it in a different way, very quiet. But same thing, she said it was our fault.
And again, just like I said before, our responsibility is to getting rid of those conditions that lead to violence in the first place.
You recently campaigned with Hassan Piker. He's got a huge streaming audience. Do you agree with his statement that Hamas is a lesser evil than Israel?
No, I don't.
You've called Israel's actions in Gaza a genocide. You've called for an arms embargo against Israel. Would that include the U.S. selling or financing defensive weapons that Israel uses to protect itself against rocket attacks from Hezbollah or Iran?
Yes. Yeah,
it would.
It would.
I don't know how he's sitting there quietly asking these questions, and she's like, yeah, we don't want to give Israel any more protection. Even though Hezbollah and all these other countries are trying to blow them off the face of the earth, yeah. No, we don't want to get no help. They're coming. Now you hear it.
Why not differentiate between offensive weapons used to wage war against another population and then defensive weapons that are used to protect civilians from outside attack?
I believe that our selling of arms to Israel, defensive or offensive, gives them the cover to continue the genocide that's taking place in Palestine and now the ethnic cleansing that's taking place in Lebanon.
We are you have to read and listen to what she says. We are facilitating ethnic cleansing in Lebanon. She said basically, we are trying to wipe out an entire population by facilitating it, by helping Israel. This is what these young people are thinking and hearing.
Debate within the Democratic Party and elsewhere about what is anti-Semitism and what is anti-Zionism. That firebombing attack in Boulder on the group of peaceful protesters there that were protesting in support of the Jewish hostages being held by Hamas, was that firebombing attack on them an act of anti-Semitism?
I don't know what was in the heart of the perpetrator. All I know is that he went and attacked innocent people because of what they might have believed. And I don't even know what the people that were at that protest believed too. In fact, most of them were probably just there to, ask that the people who were kidnapped during October 7th be returned home to their families. That's not a political statement in and of itself.
But you would not describe it as anti-Semitism?
I don't know. I don't know what his intentions were.
Yeah. Well, if anything from tonight, you will take away from this that you're being educated, and you can't turn away from this. Not even this much, because now you need. I mean, I bet you the people in Colorado where she's running, whatever district she's in, they don't know what she's talking about. They don't know who she stands for. They don't know that they have a complete ideology where they want to, quote, eradicate Western civilization. And they're not coming at you with screaming and machetes and sickles. They're coming at you with very polished people. Excuse me. These people have been trained. They are operatives. They know how to sit there. They know how to look pretty. They know how to calmly say the most evil crap you can imagine. And they say it knowing full well most people probably won't see it. Now, I don't know. Some of you may live in Colorado, and some of you may say, "Wait a minute, is that the person running in my district?" Yeah. Now you got to get out there and tell other people. Your cue, because they're not hiding it. Your cue moving forward is if somebody says, "I am a democratic socialist," whichever made-up term that is, you now know what they're all about. They bought it hook, line, and sinker. They're drinking the Kool-Aid, and they're coming for you. Scary times. Scary times. Somebody in the chat said, "Why is this all happening under the Trump administration?" Well, he's the president. He's not running a district in Colorado or a district in New York City. There is just the same way we want to live without government overreach is the same thing. He has to be very careful in regards to making sure that the states do what they want to do. Now, that may take it to the next realm where Insurrection Act, I don't care if you're smiling and you're a little demure woman, if you're advocating for the eradication of Western civilization, I don't think you can be seated. Maybe you get seated in Colorado. I don't know about those New York people and how they're going to get seated in Washington. You have to make a vow. You have to agree to uphold the Constitution. Meanwhile, you've already posted you don't agree with imagine it. You hire someone to work in your company and their job is X, Y, and Z. And then you find out what they really want to do is destroy your company. I'd like a job here because I'd like to eradicate your company. Let's see. Number 2. Where is it? Number 8. 8. Public ownership of major corporations. There will be no CEO here. We are going to take it over. What? Why would I hire you? Why would I ever bring you in? That's where we are. All right. Before I move on, let's talk to SV and see what he's got. What do you got, man?
Hey there. Ho there. Oh, man. Holy gaslighting, Batman. Just when you think people can't be any more stupid, we meet her.
Yeah, exactly.
I sent you a couple things about Iran, and then there's a one from Iraq, but the one that Trump won't be happy about, 2 up from the bottom.
Let's see.
OSINT Defender.
I can't even speak. These people. Wait a minute. I think I clicked on. Okay, wait a minute. I clicked on the profile instead of the post. Okay. Now I got it. Okay.
Yeah, so apparently following U.S. retaliatory strikes against select targets in Iran, both Bahrain and Kuwait are now dealing with renewed Iranian drone and missile attacks, with Kuwait's general staff saying just earlier that air defense systems are intercepting hostile targets. So I guess they didn't read Trump's True Social.
Well, I don't read squiggly lines, but down in the bottom here, it says
it does have it in English down there.
Yeah, Kuwaiti air defenses are currently responding to hostile missile drone threats. The general staff of Kuwaiti, blah blah. The public is
Ollie snack bar.
Here we go again. Okay, like I said, I really feel like people are pushing them and telling them they have to do it. You cannot let him get that nuclear dust. I mean, so all the stories we're hearing about wanting to look at the isotopes and really see where that stuff came from are starting to really hold water because they are holding on to dear life. And I truly believe certain people are telling them, do not give that up. Do not let them come in and get that.
Yeah, that gay cardboard cutout is telling them to do it, I think. And then there's a story from Iraq, which is interesting. This is developing. 2 up from the bottom, again from OSINT Defender 5 minutes ago, or about 10 minutes now. Just something.
What do we got? What are we doing
rounding
here?
people up, I think. Heavy armor and security forces are on the move inside the green zone in Baghdad, Iraq, amid unconfirmed, so that's why I'm letting it cook, but worthy of news, unconfirmed reports of arrests of Iraqi politicians.
Who would be doing
that? That's a good question.
Yeah, who would be making the arrest of the Iraqi good guys or bad guys?
Well, I mean, it just seems like it's they're reading from the same script Iran does. If they don't like what they say, you run them over with their trucks and you unalive them and all that kind of stuff. I mean, I'm just so sick of this barbaric behavior.
Yeah.
Where's my red button?
It may be coming to that real soon here.
Good Lord, man. Stop it. Stop this insanity.
What else you got here?
And then I also sent you, I don't know if you had time to download it. It was a interesting 5-minute video. It was talking about Newsom. Let's see. If
I got that queued up.
Okay.
Yeah, that's
okay. Do you want to just, you want to just let it go, or?
Yeah, I actually have the video queued up. I had that video in the next segment, so I'm gonna
perfect.
Take a break, and we'll be right back in 90 seconds.
Sounds good.
Back to Fanfare with Barry Cunningham.
Hi, I'm Robert F. Kennedy Jr., your HHS Secretary. I'm joined today by my good friend and anti-fraud warrior, CMS Administrator, Dr. Mehmet Oz. Healthcare fraud and corruption affect millions of Americans, and maybe even you. The Obamacare marketplace is plagued by fraud, in large part because the Biden administration dismantled basic program integrity guardrails, while partisan lawfare blocked common sense efforts to protect taxpayers. Today, Dr. Oz and I are exposing one of the latest examples of fraud that we've uncovered. More than 1 million people enrolled in Obamacare without Social Security numbers on file. That is a glaring warning sign of fraud. If even a single person was on Obamacare with no Social Security number, we should have found out. Why are we paying people who we don't know if they actually exist?
Shady insurance agents and other bad actors have been getting paid to enroll unsuspecting Americans in health plans they never signed up for.
All right, so the numbers there alone are just 1 million people who they don't know if they're even people. 1 million people have been getting Obamacare subsidies and payments. Now, understand, those payments are monthly. And maybe those payments were $50, maybe those payments were $100 each. Multiply that times 1 million. And then multiply that times 12 for a whole year. So if you had 100 people, 1 million people getting $100 a month, that's $100 million per month. $100 times 1 million, that's $100 million of complete out the door fraud. These aren't even dead people. These are people who don't exist. It's insane how much we've been stolen from.
These rogue agents have been flooding into healthcare.gov. That's the Obamacare marketplace. They submit applications for fake people, enroll stolen identities, all to collect millions of dollars in improper fees from insurance companies for selling plans they never legitimately sold. Some of these agents refuse to follow basic rules, like providing their client's Social Security number. That, my friends, is a huge red flag.
These fraudsters deliberately pick plans with no premiums. No premiums means no bill. No bill means most people never know that they've been enrolled in a plan that you and I are paying for with our taxpayer dollars. The only people who benefit are the fraudsters.
The Trump administration has zero tolerance for that. So here's what we're doing about it.
Okay, so slow down, because these numbers are breathtaking. And the methodology behind the scam is somewhat breathtaking. So you're telling me there was no way to track, or nobody was ever getting these things. It was all an inside job. And who knows how long it's been going on. They set it up this way. There's no doubt in my mind that this wasn't a feature. It was a benefit, and they knew setting it up that they controlled the disbursements all the way back from Wally Nigerian, and we have no idea how much of this money has been taken.
We took swift action to block this fraudulent behavior directly on healthcare.gov and through our marketplace call center. If an agent wants to be paid, they must follow the rules. No ifs, ands, or buts. They are going to have to provide government-verified information for their clients to be enrolled.
Thanks to this aggressive enforcement strategy, we've already eliminated thousands of fraudulent policies, and we're just getting started. We're also working with insurers to cancel every policy that should never have been issued and recover every taxpayer dollar that was fraudulently paid out.
We're also scaling up our enforcement efforts to prevent these bad actors from finding new ways to manipulate the system ahead of the open enrollment system this fall. Because we know the bad actors don't simply stop when you cut off one vulnerable area. The Biden administration let healthcare fraudsters run wild. Thanks to President Trump, those days are over.
To every unscrupulous insurance agent and fraudster exploiting the American people, here's our message. If you steal from the American taxpayer, or if you defraud American families, HHS will find you and we will hold you accountable.
If you're a fraudster, here's our advice to you. Do not walk away from us, run, because we are going to find you.
We're just getting started. This is the American people's health. This is the American people's money. And the Trump administration is committed to protecting both. Thank you.
What's very interesting is that the Democrats don't even talk about this. They don't even want people focused on it. You would think if you're an elected official in the United States that this would be a big deal to you. Hundreds and billions and all have been stolen from us just as we're now finding out. And you don't want anybody to even look at this. It's absolutely crazy. And it comes out so often. This was by Kash Patel today. It says, Abidurkam Idley is the alleged ringleader of one of the largest fraud scandals in the history of the country, orchestrating a massive $250 million scheme to steal critical food resources from vulnerable Americans who needed it and spent the money on luxury cars and mansions, as shameless as it gets. Somebody needs to tell me, write a book, do a movie, do something. Tell me how Abidurkam Idle was able to pull this off. See, that's the other shoe we haven't seen drop yet. We've been hearing the Somali here. We've been hearing this guy took $1 billion and that, but nobody has said yet, how did they do it? There's no way these people just learned how to steal $250 million. Never mind the fact that they didn't get caught. Nobody sniffed that 250 million was gone. So Kash is saying it, but thanks to brilliant op from this FBI and our great partners, we got him in Somalia. Oh, there's a coincidence. And he will now face justice. To date, the FBI has systematically dismantled the Feeding Our Future web of corruption and arrested over 70 members in the case. We will continue working every single day to wipe out fraud across the country. And there it is, Minnesota man. Minnesota, huh? Minnesota man captured in Somalia, huh? Okay. After allegedly helping orchestrate $250 million child nutrition fraud scheme. So I'm going to ask each one of you. Nick Shirley goes, this is epic. What Lear is next, Tim or Omar maybe? I'm sure Tim Walz will thank the FBI for catching a fraudster who stole from all the hardworking taxpayers of his state. So all these people who are getting arrested, and they're plucking these people from other countries that ran back to Somalia, who stole all this money. You don't think these people are chirping up big time? I just wonder how many indictments are waiting for people like Tim Walz and others, because there's no way. I can't. I gotta believe there's no way in God's green earth that these dirt farmers from Somalia were able to steal $250 million without a great deal of facilitation, because it just doesn't make any sense. What forms? Setting up bank accounts. You got ID for the bank account? You're telling me you ran $250 million through a bank and nobody picked up a phone and said, hey, Adabakar is running a lot of money through here. Shh, it's okay. No, somebody knows. And I don't think this dude wants to spend the rest of his life in jail. I'm sure he's got to be cutting a deal. You just saw the deal John Bolton cut. Oh, he's talking. He's talking big time. So I gotta believe at this point we're about to see a whole slew of indictments that are just being held by the grand jury right now. First and foremost, how'd they catch this dude? Remember the woman, the white woman who was part of the Feeding Our Future? She went to jail. I'm sure she dropped dime on Ataburko, whatever his name is. And then Somalia, it ain't like the easiest. Can you imagine falling into Somalia and saying, okay, I'm looking for, what's his name here? Out of Bedurkum Edley. And it's like, here's your picture of him. And he probably looks like everybody's brother. How the hell did they find him? Somebody dropped dime. Somebody said, here's where he hangs out. Here's where he lives. Here's his girlfriend. Here's where everything is. Somebody had, that's all the way to hell across the world. People are talking.
When you see a doctor, nurse, or any medical professional, you expect they'll do what's right and only bill you for necessary care. But sometimes those trusted providers take advantage of patients, leading to fraudulent billing, bad medical advice, and even death. Federal agencies and law enforcement have a message to accused fraudsters. Enough is enough.
This is just the beginning.
The beginning of what the feds promise will be an ongoing crackdown on fraud, costing taxpayers billions and rampant in our healthcare system.
Fraud does not recognize party lines, and neither does accountability.
And the problem hits home. We discovered several Nevadans facing charges, including Marizel Yuki, a 49-year-old nurse practitioner who court records say ran mobile wound clinics in 4 states. The indictment details illegal bribes, kickbacks, and the targeting of elderly patients in a $906 million scam, defrauding Medicare and the military's TRICARE with medically unnecessary skin grafts.
Okay, this skin graft lady I talked to about last week, but the largesse of the number, $906 million, basically $1 billion. At this point, it's impossible to keep up with the numbers. It should piss you off to no end that you've been going to work for years, paying your taxes, struggling, and these people are stealing literally billions of dollars. And this woman was doing fake skin grafts and ripping off, making skin suits.
She was performing these skin substitute procedures on vulnerable elderly Americans in hospices and in nursing homes, and then submitting those claims. She was using human beings, American citizens, as living piggy banks, and that she took the money she got from those living piggy banks and she bought $865,000 necklaces that the department seized. She bought a almost $500,000 Ferrari that the department also seized.
Did he say $800,000 necklace? That's just that you're just out there flaunting it at that point. You're just telling us I don't care. I got a $500,000 Ferrari. I got an $800,000 necklace. I'm stealing and I'm living my best life. And I don't care. I'm never gonna get caught. The Democrats love me. What do you mean Trump won? Oh God.
Investigators say Yuki also used illegal profits to buy $1 million home in Hawaii and build a $4.5 million beach resort in the Philippines. Prosecutors claim she falsified patient files to make those procedures appear necessary under Medicare rules. In another skin graft case, Las Vegas salesman Brian Rowan, vice president of sales for a wound care company, is accused of orchestrating a $1.2 billion scheme.
I'm looking at some of the chats and people are like, I'm pissed. I'm beyond pissed off right now. Now, I gotta believe RFK Jr., Dr. Oz, President Trump, they know you're pissed. And they're just pushing all this stuff out there, telling everybody, look what they've been doing. Look at what these people have been doing, which is why the Democrats are freaking out and why they won't talk about it, because they don't want eyeballs on this stuff. This is the kind of stuff that people should go to jail for a long time.
Federal investigators say Rowan and others paid hundreds of millions in bribes and kickbacks to doctors and sales reps, hiding them with fake invoices and shell companies. They say elderly and terminally ill patients were subjected to medically unnecessary treatments, inflating taxpayer-funded bills. From 2021 to 24, government programs and private insurers paid out more than $600 million in false claims.
I don't expect you to remember these numbers because it's impossible. But the only thing we can remember as a group is we've been paying our taxes and they've been stealing it. And then you got the Democrats going, well, we need more. You need to pay more of your fair share. Well, how about you just collect on the crap that's going out the back door? We don't even know what the numbers needed anymore. Budget? We don't even need to look at a budget. How can they literally stand in front of you and say, you need to pay your fair share, and we need to have a billionaire's tax, and we need to have this tax? I'm like, what about all the money you let get out the back door? How can you sell that to Americans? How can you, that's why you don't want Americans to know this. And that's probably why it's also getting tighter for the Democrats, because the more President Trump turns this stuff off, the only way they can fix it is to take more taxes. But I don't see that getting passed.
Rowan allegedly pocketed $24 million and used it to buy luxury homes, cars, and watches.
Here's the harsh reality. As the federal government shutdown enters day 26, 42 million Americans, including 3 million here in Florida, brace for the possibility their SNAP benefits will not arrive in November. A new survey from Propel, a group that helps SNAP recipients manage their benefits, say that they will face significant hardship. 60% said that they would turn to food banks for help. 44% said they would skip meals. 33%, one-third, said they would delay paying other bills to put food on the table.
So we were just talking about the medical fraud, and now here comes the other train, the other bus pulling into the slot here, which is SNAP fraud. Because now what we're seeing is so many different agencies, so many different places that have money in the federal budget, they're all stealing. They all have their own grift and scam going on.
Is stressing them out. Joining me on the morning show, Gina Plato-Nino, Interim Director for SNAP at the Food Research and Action Center. Thank you for joining us.
Glad to be here.
So, Gina, concerned this will be a life-changing event for people and the impact will be immediate?
Yes and no. So life-changing event because not everyone will lose their SNAP benefits right away. The benefits will be delayed because people receive their benefits scattered throughout the month all the way to the mid of the month. So you're going to see people coming on the first not getting their benefits all the way. But it's not just individuals, as you're showing in your screen. It's also retailers who can plan for perishable items, who also have to figure out how they're going to make sure that once benefits are put in place, they have enough resources so that people can purchase the food.
So all that said, are there things that people can do now to help prepare and soften the blow?
Not really. The people who are on SNAP are incredibly vulnerable. They're making less than $1,000 a month. They're living paycheck to paycheck. They have to figure out whether they're going to be able to pay rent, whether they're going to be able to pay mortgage, their car insurance.
I'm sorry. Did she say mortgage? So you're telling me, well, yeah, I don't even have to say it. You got all these other things. We have to figure out we're going to pay this or pay that. Well, you're not paying anything. We are. Now, what's interesting, I'm going to show you, this woman who's advocating for the SNAP benefits, she got her ass hauled into Congress.
The car payment, they're on SNAP because they have lost their wages, because their wages have been reduced, and they're in an incredibly vulnerable situation where this is really going to set them up, set them back.
Yeah, there is a contingency fund and money that could be used to fund SNAP while the government shut down. But I understand that politics is getting in the way of that money being used.
Unfortunately, the longest shutdown we had under the first Trump administration the Secretary of Agriculture then was able to issue benefits ahead of time so that we wouldn't be in this situation, right? So that we don't have to be between the politics of it. And regardless with what's going on in Congress, the Secretary has the authority. Congress has given her the authority to be able to issue these contingency funds and utilize other reserves like they did with WIC.
So the administration could have done something, is what I'm hearing as well, but didn't act in time. Sharon Parrott, the head of the Center for Budget and Priorities, said it could have and should have taken steps weeks ago to be ready to use these funds. Instead, it may choose not to use them in an effort to gain political advantage. She's talking.
I don't think it's political advantage. We don't know why these people were getting so many SNAP benefits. We don't understand, as people who have worked and people who have had to live under budgets, why these people have car payments, mortgage payments, all this stuff, and they're supposed to be making, what did she say, under $1,000 a month. So you have a mortgage payment and you make less than $1,000 a month. How the hell does that even happen? Now, I understand there are some people who are falling on hard times who may have been working well, and then all of a sudden they lost their job and they need a hand for a little while. But that's not who we're seeing here. You've been in the store. You've seen the Shaniquas show up. You know who's actually using these benefits. It's not the person who lost their job last week and needs a couple weeks to hold this over. And yeah, they're the one with the mortgage payment. They're the one with the car payment, but they're trying to get back on their feet. That's not who we're talking about here. Not at all. And that's going to come out here in a little bit.
About the administration. Why not have been proactive when it could have softened the impact? Because there's precedent here, and they've created a buffer before. What was it, 2018, 2019?
2018, 2019, and SNAP benefits have never been delayed, right? Like, people expect to have these benefits on time, right? That's what happened in the other shutdown under the Trump.
She just said 2018, 2019. It's 2026. This segment was filmed in 2025. I'm pretty sure nobody expected people from 2018 and 2019 to still be on SNAP benefits in 2025 and 2026. That is the problem. That right there, what he said to her, and they're not realizing what you just said. Oh, there was a problem in 2018 where people with brains like, well, why the hell are they still getting SNAP benefits? Something isn't right if you've been getting free food for 6 years.
Administration. And again, the administration and the Secretary of Agriculture, that's why she was giving this contingency so that if there's an emergency, she can go ahead and utilize these funds, right? And we've seen it when, farmers are in a disaster, various other types of funds are utilized from USDA. There are certain offices that USDA is going to reopen during the shutdown. So it really is a matter of choice. It's a matter of priorities, whether or not she wants to ensure that people get their benefits on time this month.
It's also been pointed out that Trump officials have located stopgap funding to fill other shortfalls amid the budget impasse. That includes money to prop up another nutrition program benefiting women and children, WIC. But they seem intent on leaving this one in the hands of Congress and at the expense of families who may not be able to put food on the table. Why?
That is a very good question, but it's not surprising. On July 4th, the president signed one of the biggest cuts to the SNAP program in history, $186 billion, who will permanently cut off millions of people from SNAP beginning next year. So they're setting up an agenda where they are not prioritizing individuals who are working hard. They're just falling on a hard time. And
Did you see what was in the cart? Donuts, hot chocolate donuts. And as they're scanning right there, they're getting all those sugary cereals. And that's what they're trying to stop. You're not being nutritious in your decisions.
Literally with an administration that has caused higher unemployment and higher cost of food, which is making it really difficult for people to be able to live day to day.
Yeah, then exacerbating the situation are complicated changes at SNAP, new work requirements, other limits on eligibility. Are SNAP recipients being held at bay and used as leverage in this government shutdown right now?
You know, people are not chess pieces. These are human beings. These are hardworking Americans. These are veterans, right? These are individuals who, this is an entitlement program. It is by law supposed to be there for individuals. Like I said, majority of people who are on SNAP is because they have lost their jobs. And when the economy is doing well, people are not on SNAP.
So if they lost their jobs 6 years ago, is there no way to get people off of SNAP? Once you're on, it's like a conveyor belt. You just never get off. Nobody asked. Well, we're going to see people ask her these questions because that's what the problem is. I don't think anybody is heartless in terms of people needing help and assistance in the interim. The idea interim, between, a bridge, not a lifestyle. Not that this has become something where you just count on it forever.
It's incredibly unfortunate that the administration has chosen to play politics with people's lives. And this is kids, right? It's kids. The majority of people who utilize SNAP are children. And while they may be getting breakfast and lunch at school, when they get home, they're going to see why mommy or daddy are skipping meals or why they don't have enough food. And
that's the problem. That's a problem to me. So these kids are being taught from a young age that everything is free. We're going to get breakfast at school. We're going to get lunch at school. And then when we come home, we got a full pantry of food that's free. So imagine how that perpetuates. When people know somebody else is paying for Johnny's breakfast, somebody else is paying for Johnny's lunch, and somebody else is paying for Johnny's dinner. And there's no shame to this whatsoever, and the Democrats want it perpetuated.
Thanksgiving, why there may not be a Thanksgiving dinner.
Have you ever been hungry? I mean, seriously. If you've ever been hungry, my last period of hunger was in college. When I'm like, I don't get paid for my bouncing work until like next Thursday. I don't have any money left. I'm gonna have to go into the cabinet and see what I can mix up some macaroni and cheese or some ramen. If I have enough gas to get home for Thanksgiving. How do I say this? Thanksgiving isn't a right. If you can't afford a turkey, you don't have Thanksgiving, because Thanksgiving isn't about the turkey. It's about giving thanks to the fact that you got a SNAP benefit, and that somebody gives your kid a free breakfast, and somebody gives your kid a free lunch, and you get free Medicaid, and you get a bus pass. It's not about you not being able to have a turkey on Thanksgiving.
Complicated situation and a lot of people on the short end of the stick.
All right, so that was that lady. I don't know how she survived and stayed in the Trump administration, but now she gets hauled down to Congress. And it's a completely different thing than talking to a liberal station up in, I think, Orlando. Now you got Brandon Gill, who's just going to slice and dice her.
Organization funded by organizations that make money from food stamps.
There was no glitch there. That was actually her just, yeah, that was her self-destructing as Brandon Gill asked her a question. I'm sorry. Are you really asking me that? First time I saw this, Ashley sent it to me. She goes, "You got to see this questioning because it's pretty crazy." So I'm just going to rewind it. So wanted to let you know that the tape didn't freeze. That was her.
Is your organization funded by organizations that make money from food stamps? Do organizations who profit off of food stamps fund your organization or businesses?
I mean, I can't comment.
Whoa! If the first question he asks has got you tied up, leave now, because everybody just realized you're a complete dunce. Who's pulling your strings? She's blinking.
Into that, happy to talk about the research that needed.
Does General Mills fund your organization?
I don't have access to that information.
I do. It's right here.
All right, let me just tell you guys, public service announcement. You're going to go to a hearing, you talk to a lawyer, and he asks you a question. Understand they already have the answers before they ask you the question. Any good attorney will tell you they know the answer while they're asking you. So they're going to embarrass you or catch you lying, one of the two. And right there, it's like, oh, I got it right here.
You fund your organization. Do they profit off of food stamps?
Retailers are the major beneficiaries.
Do you think that that's a conflict of interest?
That's where EBT dollars are utilized.
Yes, and they're profiting off of your advocacy. Do you think that that's a conflict of interest?
Leave. You are the epitome of the Southwest commercial. You want to get away? So let me just explain to you what he just did. They are being funded by the very companies that they push these people to buy their food. So General Mills, as you know, big company, makes Cheerios and some things. We're going to give you money to help with the EBT stuff because we know these people are going to buy all this sugary shit. So, of course, it benefits us. It benefits us greatly to have you some money so you can push these people to buy our stuff. It's like the drug dealer telling the doctor, I don't even need the analogy. You understand at this point. And she understands because she's stuck.
I think most people think that's a conflict of interest. I know you don't want to answer. Should SNAP dollars be spent on sodas?
The purpose of the SNAPs program is to provide families to have food and beverages.
Should it be spent on sugary sodas?
I am happy to talk about hunger and nutrition, but not dictate what Americans should or should not eat or may have access to.
I'm asking if tax dollars should be used to pay for sodas.
Taxpayer.
Yeah, that's how it went. This is pretty much how it went, where they sent the wrong woman out here. She never expected she was going to have to answer these questions, and they're the easiest questions. You think that SNAP dollars should be going to soda, or should it be going to milk, bottled water? I don't know, stuff like that. Why are we giving these people sodas? You do not have a right to soda. You can get some water, you can get some milk, you get some apple juice. Why are we giving you soda and paying for it? And then let you go to Medicaid to pay for what happens after you drink soda for 50 years.
This money should be utilized to ensure that individuals have access to the food that they need to survive or may be accessible to them.
Do they?
I agree with you. Yes, they should have access to the food they need to survive. So I'm going to go back to my question. Do they need to buy sodas? Because you just answered, I don't know anybody that needs soda to survive. I don't know anybody that needs chocolate-covered donuts to survive. We have been getting ripped off for decades.
They need sugary sodas to survive.
Some of them do, who do have low blood issues, who may
Is that right?
who have
Somebody who's got low blood issues. You mean blood sugar or just got low blood? They don't have enough blood. So we're going to give them some sugary soda. That's why he had to laugh at her. And she actually said that. These people have low blood. Oh, They hanging around vampires?
Do you think they need Coca-Cola to survive? Do you think that's the most appropriate use of our tax dollars?
I am not a physician, but medical records and expertise
You were
do
just
show that in some
citing the
circumstances
health
they
needs,
do.
apparently, of the American people. So do the American people need Coca-Cola to survive?
I did not say that. I said that
I'm asking you. I'm giving you the opportunity to say yes or no.
I will not answer for individuals and their choices.
This is where we are. This is what has been allowed to happen for decades. It's unbelievable. And they obviously don't expect it. They don't think they're going to get destroyed by simple questions. And now they're exposed. Everybody saw it.
Secretary Rawlings directed all SNAP state agencies to share their participant eligibility data with USDA's Food and Nutrition Association. Were you aware of that she directed them to do that, the states?
I'm aware that the labor market has been very weakened for blue-collar workers. And
that's not what I asked you. What I asked about, Secretary Rawlings directed the state SNAP agencies to share their participant eligibility data. Were you aware that she asked them that? The states?
Are you talking about the data request?
Let's try it again. Secretary Rawlings asked the states, the 50 states in D.C., to share their participant eligibility data with the USDA. Were you aware of it or not? If you weren't, we can talk about it and I can tell you what happened.
If it's a data request, yes.
Okay, yeah. And did you know that 22 states did not share that data?
Yes.
Do you know what they all have in common?
That they don't care about protecting Americans' privacy?
Oh my God, lady, you're embarrassing yourself on national television in the halls of Congress. And I doubt she even cares.
Single one of them has a Democratic governor, all of them. And so it's Arizona all the way through Washington, state and D.C. I find it ironic when I was doing a little research for this, that when you take the states that are run by Democrats and you take the states that are run by Republicans, particularly the larger ones, you have about a 30% more likely, you're 30% more likely to be on SNAP if you live in a blue state. You think it's just because they're just terribly mismanaged, or maybe they're abusing the system? It's my time. This isn't a classroom.
They are ensuring that individuals who need access to benefits to be able to make and meet their basic needs have those resources.
Well, let's hopefully we can get in a perfect world and SNAP benefits go away completely. Mr. Chair, I yield back.
Yikes. So we're getting stolen from in so many different directions by so many different agencies, with so many of these social programs, these free programs. The safety net was supposed to be just that, a safety net, and it has turned out to be a safety hotel. They just check in, they never check out, and they just keep getting free stuff for the rest of their lives. It was funny, somebody in the chat said, I love my Mountain Dew, I gotta have my Mountain Dew, but the thing is, you're paying for it. If you want to go drink Mountain Dew, go for it, it's on you. But you're not asking other people in the chat to, hey, send me some Mountain Dew. Or maybe you are. But in any event, you're not doing it for years. This is what these people, they coexist on your backs. And then tell you we need even more of your money.
This morning, a judge ruled the federal government cannot block SNAP benefits from being used to buy candy, soda, or other sugary drinks. The ruling impacts new restrictions that have already started in at least 10 states and are planned in several others. Connecticut is not one of those. The judge ruled the government did not have the authority to approve waivers restricting how SNAP benefits are used. No word on whether the Trump administration plans to appeal.
As of right now, this ruling has not been formally challenged, so it does affect 5 states. So let me go ahead and give you these states. Colorado, Iowa, Nebraska, Tennessee, and West Virginia can now use EBT to buy candy, soda, and sugary drinks. It only affects those states though. So these states right here, these still have that ban for sugary drinks and candy restrictions for EBT. Take a look here. We'll go through the list. Alabama, Arkansas. So you can kind of read through these at your own pace, but just know that every one of these states still has the ban. All right, now if you want to know who actually did this, it was a Barack Obama appointed judge. Shocker.
Recognized for 5 minutes.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. The American people expect their tax dollars to be spent wisely. They expect us to be wise stewards of the money that they work so hard to put food on the table and then send some to this government. And for us to be wasteful with those dollars is not acceptable. But unfortunately, for many in the federal government, your hard-earned dollars are an afterthought. That's part of the reason why we see billions of dollars lost to waste, fraud, and abuse, and why we have a $39 trillion debt. It's clear that many programs are not working as intended, and the American people deserve better. Over the past year, the Trump administration has taken meaningful steps, and this body has taken meaningful steps to make sure that those dollars are going to be put in the hands of the people that truly need them. And so my first question is to you, Ms. Plata-Nino. In your testimony, you emphasized the importance of distinguishing between fraud and administrative errors, but the USD Inspector General and multiple audits have documented that organized fraud rings are stealing hundreds of millions, sometimes billions of dollars. Do you believe those reports?
I believe he was talking about skimming, where there is no way to measure that, especially after the government stopped doing reimbursement and instead stopped taking claims.
So you don't believe the information is accurate?
Not fully.
What do you do with these people? What do we do with these people who will not believe the numbers, which is, probably why the Democrats just put their head in the sand and say it doesn't exist. There is no such thing as fraud. There's no boogeyman stealing all of this. They just deny it, and as soon as it gets turned off, then you get some liberal judge that says, yes, they should be able to buy candy and everything. Just think about that for a second. What kind of person you must be to be allowing, or rather forcing states to let people buy stuff that they can't afford, that's not good for them, instead of at least trying to make some of these people healthier. Just give it an effort. It's not going to hurt them if they can't get soda. It's not going to hurt them if they don't get candy. It's not going to hurt them if they don't get donuts. But no, they just want to keep these people in that situation. It's evil when you think about it. You have an opportunity to help people, really truly help them by having them change their behavior. Obviously, these people don't have good upbringing or somebody looking over them. I can't tell you how many times Robin said, put that down. Nope, can't have that. I want a cookie. No, can't eat it. Hey, and you know when you're not doing the right thing. You know if you're not supposed to eat something. I was so happy for Father's Day. Ashley sent me a big giant box of blueberry muffins, and I was worried. I walked around the house. She's like, "Why aren't you eating them?" I don't know. She didn't know. She goes, "Yes, she did. They're sugar-free." I was like, "Utopia! Oh my gosh, they're sugar-free blueberry muffins. Let me kiss you." People look out for you. They know you're on a diet. You're trying to live your life a certain way. And you got judges going, nope, let them have whatever they want.
Really? So we have three panelists here that are all experts that have studied this. You're saying that they don't know what they're talking about?
There is underreported data in terms of how many millions of dollars, if not billions, have been stolen from vulnerable Americans in terms of skimming, but there's no data to really ascertain the full amount.
Okay, I think we could kind of put blinders on. All of us could put blinders on and continue to mount up $39 trillion in debt, but I'm not going to do that. I'm going to focus on, let me ask you this question. Only 29 states have provided their data. Should all of the states at least provide data back to Congress about how that money is being spent?
The SNAP program does have a high quality control program, and states have been historically providing the data in order to ascertain high quality control measures. The data that is being asked is in violation of the Privacy Act and the Paper Reduction Act. The data is incredibly sensitive and is not necessarily...
Apparently most of the states are fine. Most of the states are being responsible. They're responding because they see the problem. Ms. Platanino, let me ask you this question. Is $39 trillion debt, is that acceptable to you?
It is unacceptable that we still have over 40.
So do you know how much that is per taxpayer? Do you have any idea how much each taxpayer in America, if they had to pay right now, what that would be? I'll tell you.
It's
$356,000. If you care about the national debt, if you care about the money that's coming out of this building, you should care about the fact that every hardworking American who is trying to put food on the table at the end of the day has to somehow pay $356,000 for all of the misuse of funds that this Congress and previous Congresses have made. I
have a question for you. Knowing what you probably know about Elon Musk and what you probably know of Doge, how many of you think they already have the data? I do. I think that what happened with Doge wasn't it being disbanded. I believe that they put in algorithms and programs and AI, and they got all the data they could possibly need. We don't have to sit here for 6 months and pretend. We've already gone through. We sent spiders in. We have every bit of data. As President Trump has said many times, we have it all. I truly believe him. I believe a guy who can park a rocket and have it come from outer space and have it sit here doesn't need to sit at a desk with 10 or 12 people constantly going through SNAP benefits. I got to believe once they got in there, they were able to ascertain all the information they need. When will we see it? I think we're seeing it right now. I think that's why we're seeing so many of these fraud investigations. It had to start from somewhere. And there's no way, even in the time he's been in office, that Pam Bondi or Cash or Todd Blanche could be going through all of this stuff one by one by one. So I think they already had the data, and I think they've been using the data, and they're following up on it. And now with this stuff here, we need to find out who knew what was going on. This woman, she looks stupid. I mean, she doesn't look like she's acting. She looks stupid. She's a puppet. She just put there to just be a face. And I think they're digging in and trying to find out as they arrest these people, who knew?
Find it acceptable. And we're trying to do everything we can to unwind this clock and undo the damage that previous Congresses have done to not just the American people today, but future generations. And to demonize that work, I think, is unacceptable. Mr. Walk, thank you for your service as an Inspector General. Can you describe the scale of the threat based on the investigations your office has conducted on the sophisticated organized crime that's occurring that we're seeing with the SNAP program?
I think it's very large scale. We, in terms of skimming, that requires some kind of sophistication. It requires organization. And so we're seeing a lot of what Baltic transnational criminal organizations involved in skimming. That money oftentimes goes overseas. We also know that in many of our investigations, we've seen ties of individuals, subjects that have had ties to known or suspected terrorists.
Now think what you've heard and what Trump has signed over the last couple of weeks. You see, I'm looking at this as a whole picture. And what he just told you is a lot of the skimming, a lot of the stuff that's been happening, the money that's being stolen is going to terrorist organizations and other foreign entities. You know, they go through these hearings. I almost feel like they're soft disclosures. But then when you think about all the different executive orders President Trump has just put in place in the last couple of weeks, I hope you're going to whitehouse.gov and looking at these executive orders. And as you hear this stuff, think to yourself, wait a minute, is there an executive order about people stealing from the government? Enemies? So you're telling me we have enemies in our SNAP program. We have enemies in our healthcare program. Now go back and look at some of the executive orders and see how they come together to go after this stuff. And that'll tell you there's a whole lot of more stuff happening in the background.
So it very much is a sophisticated.
In which countries do you see that activity the most? From which countries are they organizing, scheming?
Well, we see a lot of skimming from Romania.
From Romania. How do you feel when you?
There's a new one. Romania enters the chat. I know you guys are probably thinking Cuba or maybe China or Ukraine. Romania has entered into the fraudulent area. No wonder that whole area over there in Europe has become a problem.
Talk to the American people about this. How do you think they feel? To find out that their dollars aren't even going to their neighbor in need. They're going to some fraud, organized crime syndicate out of Romania.
Well, I actually had a conversation with a victim just this week. I was in a store in New York, and this father of five told me he was skimmed more than once. The card was replaced, and he was skimmed again. He showed me on his device how the money got into his account at about midnight. They were sitting on that account. They had already cloned the number, apparently, because they were able to skim all the money deposited by 7 a.m.
That's unacceptable.
7 hours.
Thank you for your work in trying to fix it. I yield back.
All right, so now you have to remember or begin educating yourself on the stuff that Scott Bessent is doing and all the different executive order tie-ins that he's doing for money transfers across the world. And as you begin putting these dominoes in place, you start realizing what Trump is working on. And you also realize why the Democrats are completely freaking out. Because if they're already tying this money to certain places, then they also know where the money is going. So there's got to be a lot of people in Washington right now who don't know what to do because it's too late. Understand that as well. It's too late. They're already probably surveilling you. They're already probably looking at your bank account. They're already watching your email. They're doing all of it. It's too late to extricate yourself from what you've done. And the biggest thing I look at is how many of these people are as they're being caught are just singing like birds. It was him, it was her, it was him, it was her. That's what's got to be freaking people out, because if you realize how fast this thing happened with John Bolton, it went from I didn't do anything to I got arrested to I took a plea. The only people taking pleas are the ones who are getting off so they don't have to spend 30 years in jail. And the only way you get that reduction is if you talk. So people are going to become, I think, much more desperate. And I think we're going to see some bigger arrests coming very, very soon. This whole thing in Iran, I think it's tied into it. They don't want to give us any access to that nuclear dust. Crazy. It's crazy what's going on. All right, so I know we've been here for 2.5 hours. Let me see if SV's got anything. How you doing, man? You've been sitting there for sitting there for a while.
I was dozing off, Barry. There's nothing going on, man.
Nothing going on.
Plenty going on.
Hey, let me show you this. You talk about somebody being a little weird.
Oh, not him.
Yeah, him. Because these strikes are a blatant violation of the war power. What war powers resolution? You didn't pass anything. Yeah, that right there, it's a blatant lie. Trump must stop this war now, or we will take him to court to compel him to do so. Good luck. Good luck. Take him to court.
They could say whatever. They could say whatever they want. This is how it comes down to now. There's no news. It just, you know what, Barry? I'm going to be the next president. I tell you. I'm going to be him.
Oh, what is this? You just sent me something Trump posted. Let me see. I didn't see that. Hold on. Is it on here? Oh,
Trump posted. It was a meme with Hillary, Biden, and Kamala.
I lost to Trump. I lost to Trump. I lost to Trump. Oh my gosh. Oh my God.
He's such a troller, man. It's funny as hell, man.
Oh God, that's too much. Too much. What else you got in there? Oh God, that's funny. That's funny.
So update in Iran. So OSINT Defender. So apparently, let's see. I sent you. Let's see here. Per the release from the IRGC, they targeted the Salem Air Base in Kuwait and the U.S. Fifth Fleet headquarters.
Wait a minute. Who's
And
this?
then,
Who's this dude?
Ali Snack Bar?
Ali Zaidi.
Oh no. So this is your other story. This is the one from Iraqi. Remember they said they were trying to crack down on. So this one, to give you more context, earlier when we came out, we didn't know why they were doing it.
Right.
So the reports are that from the local media, the crackdown is supposedly subordinate to ongoing corruption investigations spearheaded by Iraqi's new Prime Minister Ali. Oh my God, these names are crazy.
Oh yeah,
Ali
Zaidi. Ali Zaidi. Yeah. Okay. All right. So the other story was from. Let me get to it here. Okay. So per the release. Okay. What's this?
So apparently the IRGC, they targeted the Salem Air Base in Kuwait and the U.S. Fifth Fleet headquarters in Bahrain. So, and I'm not sure where the other posts I gave you, but apparently we went and struck 10. Let me see if I could find it real quick. Give me 1 second. OSINT. A lot of stuff is just happening. All right, let's see here.
I think I'm looking. I don't see it.
Okay, here it is. So let me give it to you. I don't know where it disappeared.
Oh no,
so
I got it.
Apparently,
I got it.
Okay, the retaliation. There it is.
Yeah.
So we retaliated, of course, because Trump said he would. The Navy and Air Force fighter jets conducted strikes tonight on 10 Iranian military targets at multiple locations in and near the Strait of Hormuz for Iran's drone attack. So it's the tit for tat crap going on.
Like, I said a while ago that something is weird about this. Notice that we don't see anything, not that I want to, but we don't see anybody dying. It just seems like this piece of land over here, somebody drops a bomb on it or something. I mean, we have no idea what the hell that field is. It's just some field out there that they targeted next to the Strait of Hormuz. And it looks like a bunch of dirt.
It's probably some guy doing some basket weaving or something.
Yeah, I mean, I just don't know. It seems very weird. There's not much of a war to the war. Just like, we blew something up, they blew something up, but you don't hear anybody got hurt at the base, or it's almost like it's being orchestrated. I don't know.
Well, it's good that it's not, because then it's going to be escalated again, and then like Monday, prices of gas go back up. Here we are again, and holy crap.
Let me check. Have oil prices moved since then? Let me check real quick
still
here.
In the low
No,
70s.
it's I don't know if you can see it from here. Hold on. Let me fix this. Oil is still at about 70. Yeah, 70 bucks. So it's still down. Here's the chart. I mean, it's going up. It was down to this morning it was 68. Now it's back up to
nice.
Back up to 70. So no telling what these people are doing, but we'll keep an eye on that.
I want that
$2
tomorrow. Gas again, man. I'm looking forward to that one of these days.
Yeah, it should already be there. SB had asked me, you put out the link to the crazy people's website.
Yes, I posted the DSA link.
Yep. Yeah, it's all. I grabbed it and put it here. Hold on, let me find it. There we go.
For those who don't,
you guys didn't see it, but here's their website here. Workers deserve more money. Democrat Socialists of America. And as you click on these things, I think these things are little tiles. Yeah, Medicare for all, end the war on drugs, fight mass incarceration, college for all. Housing for all. Yeah, good luck. It's
free.
It's Christmas.
Free.
It's complete. It's Christmas all over again. Crazy.
Free stuff for everyone.
Free stuff. Everybody. You get a car. You get a house. Everybody gets something. Without ever defining to people what actually is free. Nothing's free. Somebody's paying for it somewhere. All right. So
that's all I have for right now. I'm sure I'll have more for you all tomorrow.
all right. And you have a good evening. Let me do super chats and
Yes.
go
Good
go
night,
ahead
everybody.
dinner. All right. Let me do the super chats here, and then okay. Diamond G, I love that my president is Oramaxing his way to make a bold move when needed to save America. Oramaxing, love that term. Starfleet, in the 1950s, Senator McCarthy targeted communist infiltration in the United States government. Supporters viewed his actions as a necessary defense against verified red communist spy networks. Almost looks like that might be coming back. Fikosky, like the president's attitude. Me too. No more empty talks, just blow stuff up. When are we going to learn after 47 years that these people aren't serious? I completely agree. Chiosop, teachers are so busy teaching activism and hatred, they don't teach anything about prosperity and opportunity. They are taught to hate success. It's bad, real bad. Picasso, access to the masses. You crack me up sometimes. Chiosab, young people we've taken under our wing have to first be reprogrammed to believe they can succeed, then help to make some wins. Then they take off. I mean, that's why I'm such a big advocate for athletics, is because once you learn how to win, it can really stay with you. Gwen, thank you very, very much. Oh, there's Gwen twice. I don't know if that was a mistake, Gwen, but thank you anyway. Thank you very, very much. Penny, the media isn't talking about it because they don't give one about the Venezuelan people. That was clear when they sided with Maduro. Exactly. Tinley, it's okay, Barry. I won't be surprised you're Q either. No, I can't. I cannot claim that. I did not make 4,200 posts about it. And some of that stuff is real deep if you start digging in. Linnell, the boards hold a question that we, the people, must ask. I've been down some really dark rabbit holes, but I feel more enlightened each time. Linnell, you need to show some people how to do that. I think a lot of people might be enlightened if they learn about going down those rabbit holes. John Robinson, my crystal ball says this Insurrection Act, martial law, a lot of nuts gone. Some drastic, I believe, has to happen. I believe that. Chiosop, do they still keep their private security? If you want to pay for it, I guess. If they want to pay for it. All animals are equal, but some animals are more equal than others. From George Orwell's Animal Farm. Some think they will be more equal and escape. Oh, I know what I forgot. I was going to ask you. There was a movie that Elon Musk was had pushed, and that movie was SB. What? Oh, SB, you still there? Wait a second. You still there? Nope, he's not there anymore. He might come back in a second. There's a movie that Elon was pushing, and that movie was called Citizen. I think it's called Citizen Vengeance. If you guys want me to do a movie night and show it, let me know. I think it's violent, just to let you know. It's a very violent movie. If you haven't heard about it, I guess I'll have to talk about it tomorrow. But if you'd like to see Citizen Vengeance, I believe that's the name of the movie. There's a lot of trailers out there, but it's about a man who becomes a vigilante. Citizen vigilante is what it's called. And he basically gets tired of what's going on in Europe with the immigrants and takes things into his own hands. So I might show that tomorrow if you guys are up to it. Okay. Fikosky, thank you. Chiosop, they break every law to get their agenda passed. We follow for the law till it's too late. You vote communism in, but you have to fight to get it out. And so we need to fight right now so we don't get to that point. Nicholas, Barry, as far as the communist takeover of the Democrat Party, you won't hear from Obama because he's for it. He hates our way of life. But he's so rich all of a sudden. Cheers up. They will have security and will send their goons to get you. But if you want protection, well, what do you have to offer them for their security? Interesting. College for all, also known as more indoctrination, for sure. Catalina, also, I want to let you know that Mr. Besant was yesterday in Economic Club and his speech was amazing. The Dominicans are freaking out here in New York. I will have to go find that. I'll have to find that. Linnell, Trump's snake poem makes more sense now, doesn't it? Absolutely. Absolutely. Cutting edge. This is a great case, Rico, with all the arrests. Some of these people have connections. This was the same as with CPUSA in the 50s. They are fried. Yep. There's a lot going on. I mean, if we're finding this stuff out bit by bit, there's got to be a whole bunch of stuff that we really don't know yet. G. Fisher, think about how many Americans and politicians are all wrapped up in this beyond mass fraud. Think about it and grab the popcorn. Oh, yeah, these people are not going to want to go to jail for 50 years. Chiosop, as poor kids in Greece, we used to go to outdoor restaurants, wait for patrons to leave, and rush the table to grab leftovers to eat. We learned survival. I hear you. And I got two more here one more from Chiosop. Never ask questions you don't already know the answer to. And that lady, she walked head first into that trap. And Neo, thank you. Thank you, Barry. Dems created the evil. Want to do away with Christians. Let's be, you missed my first super chat, Catalina. Oh, I'm sorry. I must have skipped over it. But thank you very much. Would love to watch Citizen Vigilante. Who's this? This is from Madus. Madus said, would love to watch Citizen Vigilante. Elon offered it for free on X for 2 days. That's expired now. I got it. I have it, so we can watch it. Let's see what else we hear. Have a blessed night. You all be in my prayers tonight. I didn't see the full post, but I understand that Lynn Frank had something bad happen in her family, and so I'd like to give her some condolences, and we'll keep you in our prayers. All right, everybody. I will see you tomorrow sometime, probably about this time.
Bye.